26, the TEW 2020 save from then to now, where we take the World Wrestling Federation from 1992 all the way to the modern day. We are currently in June 1992 on the build-up to our first King of the Ring tournament. And if you're looking forward to seeing this save go the next 30 years, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Let's try and smash those like buttons. Let's try and get to 15 likes on this video. Do I know if that's possible? No, I don't, but let's try and do it. So last week's Superstars in Puerto Rico was main evented by Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels versus the Hart families Mountie and Carl Ouellett. Gets a 79, great stuff, and we randomly then had another segment afterwards, which shouldn't have been there. We also had Block A's Technical Challenge. HBK and the Mountie both won a shot at the IC title. Cactus Jack made a debut. We had our first two King of the Ring quarterfinals as the Bulldog beat Tatanka and Kama beat the Warlord. A lot of stuff's happened last week, and we're going to continue our island theme. We know the fourth episode is going to be in Japan. Well, this episode, we are going to Hawaii. Honolulu, Hawaii. We're not expected to get many people. We're expecting to get about 4,000. But it'll be fun to do a Hawaii show on the way to Japan. Next week will probably also be in Hawaii, because it's the middle ground. Makes it easier for us. So let's get right into this show. Well, I'd already told you where the show was, so I'm not going to bother going to that screen. Just going to jump straight into here. We've got 4,200 people on here in Hawaii, in the Neil S. Bladstall Center? I don't know. And ladies and gentlemen, your opening contest is a King of the Ring quarter-final match between Dr. Death Steve Williams and the Berserker John Nord. Of course, we know this match has a little bit of story behind it, because John Nord's faction mate, Yokozuna, teamed up with Dr. Death Steve Williams at Saturday night's main event to take down High Voltage, basically just to ensure that Steve Williams took damage. He didn't mind winning the match, but he wanted to see Steve Williams taking damage. 66 rating though, not bad. And it is Steve Williams who picks up the win, and they have great chemistry. We need to give them a proper lengthy match at some point. This only goes 6 minutes. Steve Williams, full of piss and vinegar, hits the backdrop driver in less than 6 minutes to pick up the win and go forward to the quarterfinals of the tournament. King Death, anyone? An 80 for Williams, 63 for John Nord. Not too bad. And after the match, we come backstage to Mike McGurk. Our roaming reporter, as we basically put her. She's the person who chats to people on locations. Well, she's just backstage this week because she's seen something interesting. High Voltage were not scheduled to be on this show today. They were not booked. Owens, still recovering from the bandside drop from Saturday night's main event. Coco took the bandside drop from an even taller height last week. He's definitely recovering. They have been seen running into Jack Tunney's office. They've come all the way out to Hawaii, and they've ran into Jack Tunney's office, and they haven't come out yet. Who knows what that could be about? We then get our first technical challenge for Block B. There's only 3 people in Block B, as Duke Rosie was eliminated. And so it's going to be a round-robin tournament. And this is our first match. See Sean Morley pin Paul Levesque. Very good, very technical wrestling. Pretty good. Gets a 67 rating. Cactus Jack just looking straight into a camera. And he's just saying, things are about to get a little bit crazy. I was told I'd never make it to the WWF. They told me I didn't stand a chance. But I fought tooth and nail to climb this mountain to get here. And now, I'm here. But I'm not satisfied. I look around and I see complacency. People who were given the opportunity to be here, rather than having to fight for it. And I don't buy that for a second. This is not a land where you can run on complacency. At least it's not anymore. It might have been, but now Cactus Jack is here. Cactus Jack is here to take what is rightfully his, what he has fought to get, and he will keep on fighting until he gets it. And if you even dare stand in my way, bang bang, you're down. 53 rating, basically it's an introduction to the WWF fans. Who Cactus Jack is, slightly psychotic, bit of fun. We then get, ironically, Sean Mooney doing the roaming reporting. As we see Hogan and Savage, they're not at the building tonight. And it's Hogan apologising to Savage. He just wanted to chat to him last week because he feels outnumbered. And he wants Savage to try, and he's wondering if Savage is willing to come out of retirement to help him. Savage doesn't want to listen to Hogan. He's like, I'm done. Look, I tried The Undertaker, the person who attacked you last week, I tried facing him at Mania and I lost. What makes you think I could beat him now when I've not been in the ring in 3 months? Maybe one day in the future I'll come back. But as of right now, I'm done. I'm done with this conversation. Please show yourself the door. And Mooney takes Hogan with him. Hogan's chatting on the way out to Mooney, still kind of continuing the interview. And Hogan's like, Undertaker, you made things personal. You attacked my friend when I was just trying to get my friend to help. You know what, you say I haven't been focused on you, and you know what, you're right. Because I don't see you as a threat, Undertaker. Last year you needed Ric Flair's help and a steel chair to beat me. And hell, just 2 days later, I managed to beat you. You really think you can beat me? I know you can't. So of course I'm looking past you. Because you're not a threat to me. Gets a 95 rated segment. Good stuff. Bob Backlund has a terrible match apparently as he beats Ouellett with a crossface chicken wing to advance to the King of the Ring semi-finals. Which does mean I think the next round is Karma versus Steve Williams and Bulldog versus Backlund. Gets a 51 rated, 54 for Backlund, 33 for Ouellett. Backlund was really off his game, which is a bit sad. He's declining physically, which I expected. He's got poor gimmick. Like, I'm not expecting Backlund to be a main event player at all. He's not going to win the world title, WWF. That was 2 years after this. No, 51 rating, not bad. We get contract signing. Vince McMahon is in the ring. He is as the announcer, but he's filling in duties because Jack Tunney is still occupied in his office. And it's 2 contracts he's got. One, he just needs Bret Hart and the Mountie to sign. The other one, he needs all 3 signatures on. Bret Hart and the Mountie are going to sign a contract for a steel cage match next week. No interference. And then all 3 will sign a contract saying that the winner of that steel cage match will defend the IC title against Shawn Michaels at King of the Ring. As Shawn Michaels has pinned both men in the last month. So I think it's pretty fair for him to get this shot where they're fighting to face him, rather than the other way around. But a 74 rating, it's a pretty good promo. JJ Dillon and Jimmy Hart both out ringside to help their client. Bret Hart's on his own, because, well, Hogan's not at the building, we know this. And Warrior's got a match to prepare for later. If you are wondering actually. Yeah, Savage just isn't on commentary tonight. Because, oh yeah, he's not at the building, so he wouldn't be doing commentary. The Natural Disasters beat the Bushwhackers. Goes 11 minutes. It's actually a legitimate match. We actually treat the Bushwhackers a little bit seriously here. And they drop a bit of their comedy. And they start to be a bit more violent. A bit more sheep herderish, you could say. But it's a bit of fun. Earthquake does pick up the win, the Earthquake Splash, but there was definitely a difference in the attitude between the Bushwhackers than we used to. Luke is very stale. Good thing we may have just teased a gimmick change. We're going to get the second match of the technical challenge as Chris Kanyon beats Paul Levesque. Paul Levesque has now lost both of his matches in this challenge. Not a great start for him. I mean, he's got enough of a point advantage. He's probably safe this month. But he is starting to flounder at the bottom of the pack. Kanyon is doing really well at the top, though. 72 rating. And now we get Smoking Guns. They're backstage and they go and speak to the Natural Disasters and they challenge them to a match at King of the Ring. It'll be the Smoking Guns versus the Natural Disasters. Pretty good stuff. 74 rating. 100 rated segment here, which is, I think, a great segment. Miracle Minus Connection. So, the Legion of Doom, Road Warriors, are having a promo backstage. And suddenly, the Violence Connection come in and jump them from behind. Animal starts to stumble up to his feet and Terry Gordy comes along and whacks him with his cast, which has been holding his broken wrist. And Oakland's like, whoa, be careful, man, that's your broken wrist. And Gordy just looks up at Oakland, laughs, slowly peels off the cast, and inside is a solid metal plate. It was a loaded cast. And his wrist is fine. He did have a legitimate broken wrist, I will point that out. But basically he's been cleared, so I wanted to do an angle where he's had a loaded wrist. 100 rated though. Brilliant stuff. Undertaker cuts a pre-match promo. He's about to go and have a squash match. Basically talking about how Savage was just in the way. Hogan was his target last week. Savage shouldn't have been there. Savage should have stayed at commentary where The Undertaker put him. Hogan, at King of the Ring, I take everything from you. I've taken your friend. And now I'm going to take your WWF Championship. Because there is nothing that Hogan actually cares about in this world. Hogan is shallow. Hogan is selfish. He probably doesn't even actually care about Savage. He just wanted to use Randy Savage. The only thing Hogan cares about is himself and the WWF title. Hogan won't have either after King of the Ring. And the squash match gets a 59. Beats the Brawler in less than a minute. Choke slam. We'll say old school. Tombstone piledriver. Simple as that. 76 for Taker, 31 for Brawler. We'll get a quick promo for the two people who qualified for the King of the Ring semi-finals last week, Kama and the Bulldog. So now you know the semi-finals. It's Kama Mufasa versus Dr. Death Steve Williams and the British Bulldog versus Bob Backlund. Give me your predictions for the semi-finals and the final. I'm excited to see where this goes. Because I've seen some of your predictions from the first round and I'm a bit like, no, you really didn't get that right. Like, the only real predictions I saw were people who've already been eliminated, so. Great job, guys. Let's see if you can get it this time. 73 rating, though. And the third match of the technical challenge sees Chris Kanyon beat Sean Morley. Gets a 74 rated, not too bad, which puts Kanyon first, Morley second, and Levesque last. 74 segments. It's not a match, well it technically is, but we're using it as a segment. Mike McGurk's backstage and still have High Voltage still have not left Jack Tunney's office. They've been in there all night, and we have no clue what is going on in there, but they are chatting in there. It's a 4-2 rating. Luger and Warrior get a couple of promos before their match in tonight's main event, which gets a 70 because, yeah, these are the weakest in ring of the two teams. But it was like, as I said, Ric Flair's currently just picked up a bruised pectoral muscle on one of the house shows, so I don't want to put him through in a match because he's got a big match at King of the Ring against the Ultimate Warrior. So I also couldn't give that match away here. Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels were in the contract signing segment, and Hulk Hogan has already been advertised to not be at the building. Kind of left Lex Luger versus Ultimate Warrior. Warrior picks up the win with his splash. And after the match, Flair comes out and cuts a promo on the Warrior, basically saying that at King of the Ring, the era of the Warrior is over. Nobody cares anymore. The Warrior is a sign of the times. He is the epitome of the 80s. We're in 1992 now. No one cares about the Warrior anymore. We get a quick dark match as the Mountie picks up a victory over IRS, basically just to keep him getting momentum going. Gets a 52 rating. He's obviously got a steel cage match next week. And he gets an 86 overall. Pretty good show. But what's more important than that is what you guys thought of the show. So let me know in the comments down below. Give me a rating, give me comments, give me things which you're excited to see for the future of this save. Any wrestlers which you think should pop up in the future, because quite a lot of them will. Let me know. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Wrong button.